like tasting high tide or something.
In a year of discovering new flavours,
You know, on a hot pan.
This is incredible.
I unleash my passion for food,
Kind of whistles up the back of your nose and sort of goes straight into your brain.
farming,
It's upside down. Oh, it is.
business,
There you are, 740 change. 220 an hour, that's what I started on when I was an apprentice in 1982. If this goes wrong, it's your idea.
sex,
Probably the sexiest thing ever is smelling a truffle.
romance,
Could see a bit of action on the farm, a bit of loving going on.
living life
You know how much of my life I've been dying to get into this kind of experience?
and facing death.
I've never actually killed an animal before. Ross is taking us feral deer hunting.
Just 1 year to see if a city bloke can live off the land.
What's the Greek name for that?
Tomates. Tomates, yeah.
No.
Yeah, tomates, yeah.
Tomatoes, really?
Yeah, tomates, yeah.
My name is Matthew Evans. I was Sydney's most feared food critic. Now, I've given up city life and moved here to country Tasmania. I've always dreamed of producing my own food so I can know and trust what I eat. The only problem is, I don't know how to chop wood. I don't know anything about growing plants. And I have absolutely no idea about rearing animals. But I do know how to eat. Everything else I'll have to learn from scratch. How hard can it be?
I used to be a big city food critic. I used to be a restaurant reviewer for the Sydney Morning Herald, feared and all that kind of stuff. But I've given that all away and moved to a little town called Cygnet, an hour south of Hobart in Tasmania. I think the reason why I'm so excited about moving to this little pocket of Tasmania and Tasmania in general is because the fertile land suits small farm holders. You can do a lot with a small piece of land. There's enough rainfall that you can make a go of it here with only a patch of earth. It's certainly not going to be easy. Like, I'm really excited, I'm really terrified at the same time. I don't know how to fence, I don't know how to farm, and I don't know how to grow stuff. I don't know how to harvest stuff. I don't know anything about rearing animals. But at the same time, it's tremendously exciting, so all I need is a little bit of good luck. I love the sign, relatives by appointment but friends welcome. That can stay. I might change the name though. This is brilliant. This is, oh, it's so beautiful. It's been my dream to do something like this for so many years. I'm quite frankly terrified, I guess, having a mortgage, not knowing what I'm doing in terms of rearing stuff, but it's every foodie's dream to actually grow and rear their own food. And finally, I can get started. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can't trust a removalist to move, I reckon.
I've always had a passion for food. Before I was a restaurant critic, I was a chef. But even as a child, I just loved to cook. It's taken me 6 months to find my dream farm, but excited as I am to get on the land, there's a ton of unpacking to get through first.
Those cold winter Tasmanian nights, solitaire. I think I should go and have a look around. I haven't really checked the place out. Too busy with boxes.
I believe that to really know and trust your food, you need to either grow it yourself or to be no more than 1 degree of separation from the person who does. And that's what my dream is. That's why I've given up my Sydney life and risked everything to move here.
What I'd really like is to maybe put some sheep on the top paddock, get a couple of pigs and fatten them over in a paddock to the side here. This whole big, broad sweep in front of the house, I'm thinking maybe a goat or a cow, something I can milk. That'd be one of my great dreams come true. And of course there's the veggie garden, which while a space exists, nothing's actually growing and it's going to take an awful lot of work. So that's probably where I'll get started.
But first I'm going to need a few farm essentials. You can't have a farm without a farm dog.
So a Kelpie's an Australian breed, isn't it?
I think they might be from Wales or...
Oh, yeah.
Up. Come here. Come on.
This is her?
Yeah. There is will turn out like a mum's
Hey, sweetheart.
eventually. But
Ah, look at that. She's gorgeous. Cheers, really appreciate that.
yeah, good luck with it, mate.
Thank you.
$200 later, and I've got myself a new best friend.
Be in the back. Oh, you good girl. She's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, aren't you? A gorgeous looking dog and a working dog, a dog that'll do a bit of rounding up of sheep, apparently, if I train her. Lie down.
Next stop, some tools for the farm.
You probably have to know what you're doing to get one of those. I guess they're gumboots. They look better, as far as gumboots go. Bought by farmer. Pudding bowl, beautiful thing. I wish. Not bad for 20 bucks all up. That's why you need a ute.
Rightio, I've got a dog, I've got some tools, and I've got some gloves. That garden won't weed itself though, so I better get to work.
So I know two things that the previous owners weren't that interested in: gardening and cleaning the toilet. What you learn from the first 2 weeks living in someone else's house. The rare odd saucer plant. They grow in fairy rings. I thought it was a herb, but it smells like cat's piss. It's a cat's piss herb. Very interesting discovery. In one tiny little spot, I found about 20 snails. And these are probably some of the nastiest things. This is the organic pest reduction. It's nice to see visible change reasonably quickly. Because I imagine once things are planted, there'll be no visible change for months. Maybe a little bit of green grows. Maybe I'll pick a lettuce in about 2 months. Look how dry it is. Ah, there we are. Got it. It could well be a form of yam. If I put the fork in, hey! This is gardening, isn't it? You just show up at someone else's place and dig their potatoes after they've gone. Look at them, they're perfect, absolutely bloody perfect. You couldn't ask for a more perfect potato than that. Bonus. But the great thing about this is I've got myself some dinner. I'm just going to boil up the potatoes that I found in the veggie patch. I might throw the yams in, see what they turn out like. I don't know if they're supposed to be proper onions or green onions or leeks, but they smell oniony. It's kind of a cross between an old Turkish dish where they do carrots with leeks and then finish it with dill, and a thing called vignerola, which is an Italian dish. So what you do is you add a tiny bit of water, just enough so everything will actually cook, some salt, and then olive oil. I'll cook it for about 20 minutes, I reckon, just till everything softens. I find that I need a proper meal with some protein. If I eat just a vegetable dish like that, despite the fact it's got potatoes in it, it will fill me up, I'll still wake up at about 2 in the morning absolutely starving. So when that comes to a boil, I'll turn it down, I'll add 2 eggs to poach, and I'll serve it with my beautiful garden fresh potatoes and onion, cooked with a bit of local carrot. Most people have a problem with poached eggs for one reason and one reason only. They have really old eggs. Supermarket eggs are really old. The white goes runny, too runny, and that's just the nature of an old egg. It actually spreads too much through the water. To me, the best thing about cooking is standing in front of the stove, making sure that things are going all right, but usually with a glass of wine in your hand or with a lover by your side or the promise of one later, something like that. The promise tonight is just potatoes and poached eggs, so that's good enough. One of the things in the short time that I've been in Tasmania that I've noticed is often the best thing at every meal is the potatoes. Look at the colour of this oil as it goes on. This is local oil. It comes from about 3 k's south of here. Look at that. This is peasant farmhouse cooking. My first day working in the veggie garden. I've taken half of my meal from the veggie garden. The other half has all come from within about 4 kilometres of here.
And it tastes bloody good. Well, mostly.
Yeah, it was a bit funny. This is the Taste of Tasmania.
The biggest event in the Tassie food calendar is gearing up.
So I won't tell you what's in it.
Wow, it's really nice. Thank
And
you.
you pay money for it?
Yeah.
Good money?
Just across the valley from me live Hans and Esther. They moved here from Switzerland a decade ago to realise their own dream of setting up a little goat dairy.
And you're still okay if I come and watch your milk and grab a couple of litres and
Yeah.
see if we can make ice cream with it?
You reckon?
Yeah.
This mob are exactly the kind of self-sufficient smallholders that I'll need to learn from if I want to turn my dream into reality.
Why the bells, Hans?
Oh, because we're Swiss origin, perhaps a little bit sentimental.
I want to get some fresh goat's milk so I can have a go at making goat's milk ice cream. And I also want to see if goats would be a good fit for my little farm.
You learnt to make cheese in Switzerland.
Yes, Esther did.
Were you a cheesemaker by trade or?
I learned of Esther.
Oh, okay. But with goats or with cows?
No, Esther did.
Yeah, no, mostly with cows.
Yeah.
The goats have to be milked twice a day, every day, nearly all year round, so it's a huge commitment. But the reward is the stunning cheese that they make with the milk.
I love this. That's the bit. It's the texture as much as anything I get excited about.
The people actually like it because a lot of people haven't seen cheeses like that before. There's our milk from this morning, so you can bottle your milk you need for your ice cream.
So probably just 3 of these would.
Do you reckon that's two? Yeah, 3 of them would be 2
2
liters.
litres, and that, yeah.
Do you reckon that would be enough to make a batch?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. I've got a big bush block. I've got about 17 acres of bush.
Yeah.
Could you put a goat in a bush block and?
You have to be prepared that they actually will ring back all your trees.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
You end up with a lot of firewood.
Yeah, that's true. You could open your firewood business.
It's an animal. You have to be around. You can't go just like for a weekend to Sydney or so. Or you have to organise.
I'm wondering about that. It's idyllic. I mean, you come here and you think this is the most perfect location, the most perfect lifestyle. One thing I've noticed is how much hard work it seems to be. I'm yet to be convinced about having goats for myself.
I've chucked in city living, not just because I wanted to move to a beautiful part of the world, but also to get my hands dirty. I want to build a new life, one that revolves around artisan food, making it and selling it. So maybe I'll be able to afford this new life. The first step in that journey is to take my goat's milk to remote Bruny Island, where I'll try to turn it into succulent, deliciously smooth ice cream. A 20-minute ferry ride from mainland conveniences, Bruny is actually 2 rugged but beautiful islands joined in the middle by a narrow strip of land. It's also home to a close-knit group of food fanatics, none more passionate than my old mate, Bruny Island cheeseman, Nick Haddo. Nick shares my passion for being connected to your food. He moved here 9 years ago to pursue his own dream of making specialist cheeses, and now he's helping me find my feet in Tassie.
G'day, mate.
Hey.
How are you?
Great. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Been to Hans and Esther's?
Fantastic.
Got the gear.
Make some ice cream?
Yeah, do you trust me?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Brilliant. Come through.
If my ice cream experiment works, we'll try selling it to the public at Tassie's biggest food festival.
So this is our kitchen.
Classic ice cream, boil the milk, make a custard using egg yolks. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemon peel. All the oils that are in the lemon peel are going to come out into the goat's milk. I'm also going to add a vanilla pod, but I have split it to extract most of the flavour. And then we can chuck the whole custard hot into this ice cream machine in the corner. I think it's like $18,000 worth. Sugar sets really hard in ice cream, but glucose stays this soft consistency. So what I do is I add a tiny bit of glucose to give the ice cream a better mouthfeel. You can actually make a much softer, silkier ice cream that's not too hard out of your freezer. Next, we're going to add the eggs. You can tell they're real eggs with all the imperfections. Anything that looks imperfect in the food world is usually something of value. We only need the yolks. All right. Well, that was clever. For those at home, don't tip it over your hand. Now I've got the eggs in, and I've got it back on the stove. I'm just going to put it on fairly low heat, and I'm going to keep my thermometer in there. So you can see it's 69 degrees, 70 degrees. I've got to get to about 80, 81. This is the amazing thing about a professional machine. I can put hot custard straight into this machine, and about 12, 15 minutes later, ice cream will come out. Fingers crossed. Ross, Nick, I want to do a tasting of this goat's milk ice cream with you. I haven't tried it yet.
That looks great.
Does look good, doesn't it?
How many eggs?
16 to 2 litres.
Oh, that's great.
Got a great consistency.
I reckon it's silkier than cow's milk ice cream.
We'll take 200 of them, thanks.
200 of them for the taste.
Yep.
All right.
The biggest event in the Tassie food calendar is gearing up. The Taste of Tasmania. After messing up his kitchen, Nick is keen to show me how hard you have to work when you do have artisan products to sell. I'll be selling his amazing cheeses, but I'm secretly hoping my ice cream will turn a few heads.
And we've got about 140 of them, and hopefully we'll sell them. It's only 20 units a day, so with any luck, we should be able to do it over the next 7 days. So white mould, you might find the French have been down to Bruni and learnt a few things, and they've started copying this, and they make Brie and Camembert. And it's a mix of cow and goat. It's very similar to bastard. You see we're in the thick of it at the taste. We're not really selling a lot of goat's milk ice cream though, unfortunately. So I'm going to head out into the crowd. I think the best way to get people to know that goat's milk ice cream is the thing of beauty is to actually give them a taste.
Oh, okay.
So I won't tell you what's in it.
Wow, it's really nice. Thank
And
you.
you'd pay money for it?
Yeah.
Good money?
Yeah.
Very good.
It's actually made with goat's milk. Would you know it was made with goat's milk?
No, not at all. It's very creamy.
What flavours are in
It's
it?
a really good ice cream. Actually, doesn't matter that it's goat's milk.
The tasting of the ice cream went really, really well. If you have a look in here, you can see we've only got 2 goat's milk ice creams left. There's heaps of rhubarb, a few lemon, quite a few honey. So we've done really, really well. It went off, absolutely went off. As you can see, the crowds are loving it. That looks fantastic. So it's classic paella.
Classic paella, yes.
Do you use local saffron?
Local saffron from Tassie.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So this is it. This is the Taste of Tasmania. This is where it all happens. In this hall, they get over 200,000 people come through in a 1-week period. This is the home of all the most amazing produce. The great brewers, the great winemakers, all the great people try to show up here if they've got enough produce. And I want to be here next year with my own produce, my own pork products. Right now, though, I've got to get back because Nick will be missing. He'll be going crazy. The stall always goes mental. Just there. It's upside down. Should be all right.
I had such a good response selling ice cream at the Taste of Tasmania that it's inspired me to get cracking on my own little farm. I'm not what you'd call a green thumb though, so a tip truck of topsoil should boost my chances of success in the veggie garden.
This stuff looks great. Super duper fertile, slightly expensive.
Then there's the small matter of getting water from the dam across the paddock to the garden.
This is what men do when they see engines and they don't know what to do. They just stand there going, sucking air in through their teeth.
$70 the lamb out in.
I'd love to be buying some livestock, like these pigs or these chickens. But first I have to fix up some dodgy fences. I know nothing about fencing, but lucky for me, Nick and his daughter Tilla have offered to lend a hand.
Right, where do you want it?
Just there. It's upside down. Oh, it is. Oh, is that how it goes in?
Fencing, as I suspected, is a bugger of a job, even if you do get the post the right way up, and there's not much to show for an afternoon's work.
Let's go, Moo. Dinner time.
To thank Nick, Hans and Esther for giving me a hand, I'm having them all over for dinner tonight. So it's back to the kitchen, where I'm more likely to know what I'm doing.
For me, summer is tomatoes. Look at these, you know, they look like real tomatoes. I just dice them up,
bite size. I don't want too much salt in here because I'm going to make my pasta quite salty, but I want enough to be able to draw out the moisture in the tomatoes. Really pretty much only use freshly ground black pepper for just about every dish. A few basil leaves. Even when you live in Tasmania, this far south, because basil and tomato, I mean, they're the flavours of summer. Then I'm using a local olive oil, a very good local olive oil, very expensive, but worth it. Doesn't get heated, so a really fine cold pressed olive oil, and enough to make it quite rich and wet. You can see already a bit of the juice is coming out. We'll find that goes quite runny by the time I go to serve the pasta. This is Hans and Esther's cheese that I found in the local supermarket. That's beautiful. This will break up when I toss it through the pasta later, and that's just fine. Oh. Look at the colour of the oil on the goat's cheese. I'm going to serve a little side dish as well. I'm going to use this pan, a ridged pan. I love the flavour you get from a ridged pan. I'm cutting these in slices lengthways. I'm just going to dip the zucchini in there. Just a touch of salt, black pepper, and then that's a good sound. That means the pan was just about hot enough. I reckon zucchini's a bit of a boring vegetable sometimes, but when you char grill it, like a lot of things, just tastes so much better. Hello.
Hello. You come in.
Come on in.
I don't know if it's any use to you, but I bought a big slab of fresh tuna.
Oh. That looks great. Have a look, mate. So, while that's searing, I'm just going to crumble a bit of secret ingredient over here. This is actually another goat's cheese. The only thing that's not goat is that tuna. I've got some vinegar from a local vineyard. A bloke makes Pinot Noir, and so he's got 5-year-old barrel-aged Pinot Noir vinegar. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Come on in. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Look at that, all the juices come out of the tomato. So I'll throw that straight in. Look, I'm going to add more pepper because I'm a pepper fiend.
Great. Did you do that?
It's a lot bigger.
I'm sure he did. That's right.
All right, help yourselves.
I'm helping myself.
Good.
Wow.
Then when I
So
can
the secret ingredient in the pasta
This is salt. That's
is actually the cheese.
Oh, is it?
It's actually your cheese. Do you know which one it is?
no.
Oh, I love this. This is good. I went down to the supermarket and they were
There
selling...
can't be that many then.
It's Caprice then.
It's Caprice, yep. It's fantastic. I just crumbled it up and it just melted through. It was gorgeous.
Dinner seemed to go down well, but now for the real test. Will my ice cream be as popular with my guests as with my customers? Let's hope so, especially considering it's made with Hans and Esther's milk.
A quick concoction. Beautiful cherries, as fat as a swollen thumb, aren't they? Red wine, bit of honey. You use brown sugar. Whoa. Cherries, especially these ones, have a fantastic flavour, but what I want to do is just boost the flavour a little bit by warming them. So,
Thank you. It's yummy.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's gorgeous. I'm not sure that I'd eat it and go, yeah, that's definitely goat, which to me is a positive.
Having friends over for dinner is a brilliant way to finish my first fortnight on the farm. The guests have gone and the dishes are done, and a whole new life on the land awaits.
Well, dinner seemed to go pretty well. Hans and Esther seemed happy. Great to have them over. Them and Nick. Good end after 2 weeks on the farm. It's kind of dawning on me how much work it's all going to be. But at the same time, it's the realisation is how exciting this is and how wonderful it's going to be actually producing stuff from here. First things first though, I'm buggered. I'm going to bed.
Next time,
Bloody amazing, isn't it? Summer in Tassie.
Preserving the sweetness of Tassie's summer fruits and berries.
Little bliss bombs.
My first farm animals arrive.
Oh, look at that.
Sunbait time.
And falling in love with prosciutto.
The way we do it now is nothing like this.